listen, I need everybody's attention. When you guys are finishing up your lab, I'm going to use yours as an example. Once you're completely done, you've got all your data tables filled out, you've gone through, you've figured out your unknown, determined some type of element that you think it is based on the emission of light that it gives off. So right now, we'll just say that Kayla and Caitlin, they're complete. So you guys are, right? So what they're going to do is, before they ever start to take anything off of their desk, before they start to move, they're going to shut off their Bunsen burner. You listening, Tyler? Of course. So you're going to shut off your Bunsen burner. At this point, do not try to touch the Bunsen burner because it conducts heat, so it will be hot. So do not touch this, but the rest of your materials you can begin to clean up. What I'd like for you guys to do is just organize these chemicals in a nice orderly pile, and then you can wipe off your desk. But the main, yes. So, listen. So the main idea from this lab, instead of us just telling you what these emission light spectrum of these elements are, the idea here, you guys listen over there? Yeah. Of course. So, the main idea here is to be able to determine this emission line spectrum based on, thank you, based on the fact that they emit this light when they are put into a flame. So instead of us just telling you that the copper gives off a greenish-blue color, we're going to let you actually experiment with it and see it for yourself. So it'll be a good learning experience for you. It's something that gets you interested, so I think it'll go well. But the main purpose is for you to actually get some hands-on experience with doing these things, with seeing these emission line spectrum. And what do we know about the emission of light from each one of these elements? Are they going to be the same? No. Are they going to be different? Yeah. Yes. Or is every single element going to have a different emission line spectrum?
No. Yes.
Well, think about it.
No.
Yes. Yes, it will. So I can see why you would say no, because a lot of them are going to have the same shade of color, right? Yeah. So elements that have that same shade of color, what do you think? Do you think they have a lot in common? Yeah. Yeah, they probably have properties in common. Where do you think on the periodic table? Do you think they'd be found close or far away from each other? Close. They'd probably be found close. So this is going to be a great segue into the material we're going to be getting into, kind of talking about how the periodic table was set up. And we're going to use this as kind of a learning experience to, instead of branching off from the emission line spectrum, we're going to go into the size of these atoms, basically where these electrons are. And then understand how that emission line spectrum is created based on the emission of the light from the electrons of these chemicals. Thank you there, Christian. So all right, so you guys are free to go now. You can begin working. I'm going to continue working here. So what you guys are doing now is basically going through and indicating the flame color. So this is the data that we're getting. Would this be something we've not really talked a lot about? Quantitative data. So what do you know what quantitative data is?
Like
involving numbers. Qualitative data does not. Those are more observations. So in this type of lab, what would you be thinking? What type of tests are we doing? Qualitative tests. Very good. So that's exactly what we're doing. So I can see this is your data here. And then you found your unknowns. And then now you guys are ready to just clean up your stuff and begin working on your post-lab. Thank you.
We don't have the IDA.
You don't have the IDA?
It's like the A. Like some people have the A.
You don't have the B?
We have the D. We don't have the A.
You don't have the A. So that's a great point. What's going to happen is you're not going to have that A because you say you have the A, but not
we have the D.
You have the B, but not the A. So the reason why you don't have the A is because the other groups are going to the A, and then when we do our data analysis, when we're looking over kind of what your results are, that's when we go to that. Hey, give me if they're wrong. Well, if they're wrong, we're going to make sure we talk through it. They won't be wrong. Okay? So when you're done, make sure your Bunsen burner is off. Return your goggles to the goggle cabinet, and then begin working on your post-lab questions.
I got green. Or unknown. We only just have one unknown. What are you guys doing unknown? We got it.
Now we have unknown B.
Because I got it from the